I have the Wikipedia article for Ernest Saves Christmas open so I can remember what happened.
Okay, excellent.
Actually, let me get the Wikipedias for both.
I also have the Wikipedia page open for John R. Cherry III, the director of most of the Ernest movies and also the creator of the character.
Okay, good. Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
We're going to learn the Ernest lore, guys.
We're definitely
Fun fact.
Yeah?
The first Ernest movie we watched, Ernest Goes to School, was one of the few that isn't directed by him.
Okay. Okay, so...
We betrayed the Ernest legacy.
I guess we did betray the Ernest legacy.
Accidentally before we even started.
Yeah. Just like that little factoid will probably be the cold open for the episode.
Yeah, which ones did he do? Which one? Well, I guess I meant which one didn't he do?
Would it be? So it was Ernest Goes to School was one he didn't do.
Yeah, it's one he didn't do. Yeah, Ernest Goes to School is the only one he didn't do.
Okay, that's weird. So he did the other ones after it, because Ernest Goes to School is not the last one.
He did all of them before and after. It's 94. He did all of them from 93 and then 95 to 98.
Interesting.
Ernest Goes to School is the only one not directed by him.
Okay. Is there a reason why? I know we should probably start the episode, but now I'm curious to know why.
I do not know, and the Wikipedia article is not giving me anything.
Okay. Because that's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. Ready to sync clap when you are, guys.
Yeah, okay. Hello and welcome to Too Many Movies, the podcast where we discuss DVDs, Blu-rays, and even the occasional VHS tape. I'm your host, Hal, and I woke up this morning and got some gabagool. My mama told me I was the chosen one. Oh wait, that's not the right intro. That's the Sopranos intro, which is pretty apt and pretty timely. Hey, Buster, you're here. What are you doing here?
Not much. I'm just saving Christmas.
You're saving Christmas? William, what are you doing here? Well, I shouldn't ask that. I really shouldn't ask why you're here.
For the record, I didn't actually say yes to be on this episode. I just didn't say no.
And that's the way it's going to be forever.
Buster was the most excited to do this episode, which is hilarious because he doesn't even celebrate Christmas.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I just love Ernest.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Yes, this is the this is another holiday episode for Too Many Movies. This is the fourth one this year because I've done 4 holiday episodes in a row. Last
and 3 of them were Halloween.
3? No, I'm talking about 8 Crazy Nights. Fucking Die Hard, and then I just did this episode's still not up yet, but at the time of us recording this, but I did the Bad Guys holiday special with Yinsed. That's gonna go up eventually. But anyway, I was in a festive mood this year. Last year we only did the Star Wars holiday special. This year I quadrupled down, and now we have all these holiday special episodes. Which is funny because today we're going to be talking about 2 holiday movies that none of us really gave a shit about until we actually saw them. And now that we've seen them, we may not ever watch them again, but we'll certainly be talking about them for years and years now. I can sense. I don't know. Am I in the minority with that?
Nah, you're hitting on the nail.
No, you watched 8 Crazy Nights twice this year. We might watch Saves again at some point.
We might watch Surviving Christmas again, but I don't know because I came away. Well, the reason I watched 8 Crazy Nights a second time was to just double check to make sure where it ranks against Surviving Christmas.
We'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later. First off, before we survive Christmas, why don't we save Christmas? But not us save Christmas. Why don't Ernest saves Christmas? Hey, that's our first movie today.
Should we establish who Ernest is?
Well, first, let me just say that I had 0 plans to ever talk about this movie ever until Buster a couple months ago was just like, hey, are you ever going to do Ernest Saves Christmas on the podcast? And I said, no, but now I am. So that's why Buster's here.
Yeah, Buster walked up and said, what is up?
No! Hold on, William. Let's save that for later. Let's actually talk about the movie before we get to why we watched the movie. I mean, it's pretty obvious why, but for those of us who know who I am and, my Dougist culture, but we'll get to that. Anyway, William, yes, you bring up a very good point. Please explain to the audience who Ernest is.
So Ernest was a character who was very popular in commercials back in the 80s and 90s. He sold product. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Sundrop. It says here, Chex cereal and Taco John's, whatever that was.
I do have, like, whenever I think of Ernest in commercials, I know there's, like, that image of him, like, selling Mellow Yellow. Like,
yeah,
that was, like, a thing.
Yeah, that's why I meant not Sundrop. Mellow Yellow. It is like, the commercials, from what I'm aware, were done, like, from the POV of a character we didn't see because we were supposed to be them, of Ernest talking to his friend/neighbor, Vern.
Vern.
Who
Like,
does
he just
appear in this
torture-
movie.
Technically
That's
appears
true.
in the movie. And he was always just, like, be annoying to them, like a pest, like the neighbor who would never leave you alone. Like, if Ned Flanders was actually what Homer thought he was.
Yeah.
And
that's a good
he
way of
talks in,
putting
like, a southern voice, kind of, and he always was like, know what I mean? Come
Know
on,
what I mean?
Vern. We can do this. Come on, let's go, Vern. Know what I mean?
Come on, Vern. We're gonna ride again.
He was
Let's go
created
back to
by
school.
he was created by this man named John Cherry that worked at an advertising agency, and he was played famously by Jim Varney, Slinky Dog from Toy Story himself, which is technically the role that got him Slinky Dog, but you know.
Yeah. But most of our audience would probably know him from that, mostly.
Yeah, because our audience is 12-year-olds or something.
Yeah. Or something.
They're animation fans.
So 12-year-olds.
Yeah,
12 years
exactly.
old. I'm kidding.
How we got introduced into Bakshi again.
We will. All
Yeah.
Not yet,
in good
Minion,
time.
not yet.
All in
We
good
should
time.
just force all of the Shafrillos fans to watch Fire and Ice. Granted, I still need to watch Fire and Ice, but we should make them all watch Fire and Ice.
With
Yeah,
us.
but listen, the funnier option would be forcing them to watch Coonskin.
Oh,
Oh, no.
no. That...
Come on.
Okay, and...
All right, American Pop it is.
Okay. As long as they stay the hell away from wizards, because I actually want to keep that in obscurity.
I don't think they'll understand wizards.
No, nobody will understand wizards except for me.
But can we understand Ernest?
Well,
know what
that's
I mean?
the $1,000,000 question.
So Ernest had like a badillion films for some reason.
For some reason.
Okay,
And
the named Ernest movies are Ernest Goes to Camp in '87, Ernest Saves Christmas, the one we're talking about today, if you couldn't tell. 1990, Ernest Goes to Jail. What a whiplash. 91, Ernest Scared Stupid. 93, Ernest Rides Again, which we've seen otherwise, where Ernest rides a cannon down the highway.
isn't that funny? Well, I mean, we don't have to go too into it, but isn't that funny that that's what that movie's called? Because
of that entire 20-minute section in the middle where he's just on the fucking highway on the back of a giant-ass cannon.
what an anomaly that film was, Ernest Rides Again.
Yeah.
But that's an episode for another day.
1994, we've watched this one as well. Ernest Goes to School.
That was the
That's a
first one we
classic.
watched.
And then,
that is the first one.
and then after that, there were free direct-to-video movies. Yes, all the ones beforehand were theatrical films. Technically, Ernest Goes to School was a limited release, apparently.
Okay.
But yeah, then 95, Slam Dunk Ernest. 97,
Yeah, baby.
Ernest Goes to Africa. I'm sure that one has aged wonderfully. And 1998, Ernest in the Army.
Ernest Goes to Africa is the one I'm most excited to see.
That can only go so well. He also had a TV show called Hey Vern, It's Ernest, I guess.
Really? I didn't know
It
about the TV show.
Says it was a children's show. Like, understandable.
Understandable. Well, let's talk specifically about Ernest Saves Christmas.
Well, yeah, that's
know?
the point of the episode.
I know. But
know what I mean?
Okay, we've established who Ernest is. So we know that this is a Christmas movie because Christmas is in the title, and basically Ernest has to save Christmas because Santa Claus is looking for a new Santa Claus to pass the torch, as it were.
A successor, if you will.
A successor, and the one guy he has his eye on is like, no. Because the one guy he happens to find is like an actor and has an agent who's like, no, you can't be Santa Claus, and for some reason Santa didn't plan this out like at all.
Well, like,
also, he's doing this on Christmas Eve of all days.
Also, did
And
the guy
in
even
Florida.
does the guy even think Santa's real at this point in the movie?
No, because when he first meets him, that's when he first meets him. He's just like, he does not believe in Santa Claus, or like he doesn't believe because he just doesn't understand like what Santa is asking of him.
Can we have the talk about Christmas specials where like people don't believe in Santa, but Santa is actually real? Can we have that conversation? Because I think
never liked that trope
because it doesn't make sense in universe.
No, it doesn't. Like,
because where the fuck did the presents come from then?
Well, there's that one moment in Elf, the Will Ferrell movie, where he's just like, "What? Why don't people believe in Santa Claus?" And the Santa's just like, "Oh, they think their kids think their parents do it." And he's like, "What? Their parents?" It's like, no, elaborate on that. Why don't they believe, huh?
Yeah, like, is there like an opt-out card of believing in Santa? Do you like a card in the mail saying, "Do you believe in Santa? Yes or no?" Like, when you're old enough to fill out to get your own mail, you probably remember Santa exists.
This November, vote yes on Santa Claus.
Yeah, was Proposition 1224.
I'm already coughing, and we're not even talking about like the meat of the movie yet.
Because it's just a dumb trope that doesn't even make sense. Like,
no,
logically, if you're a parent in that world, you would know Santa's real because you didn't have to spend any money on your kid that December.
True.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's supposed to be for the kids watching the movie to like relate, to be like, oh, I know people who don't believe in Santa Claus, except we live in the reality where Santa doesn't exist, so...
Yeah. He's only a Coca-Cola mascot in our hearts.
He's only a Coca-Cola mascot, exactly.
He's my favorite Metal Gear Solid character. Dun 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 ho ho ho.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, it's a dumb trope, and unfortunately, this movie doesn't really play with that trope in any fun way.
Well, no movie does, because if they tried to explain it, it wouldn't make sense.
Right, exactly. So, yeah, just having... I know, like, people like this Santa Claus, and by people, I mean you know who, but I don't want to get to him just yet. I will say I do like this Santa actor. He's not like, your typical Santa actor because he's not like fat and he doesn't have like this deep booming voice. The actor's name is Douglas Seal. He played the Sultan in Aladdin. That's what he's like most famous for.
Yeah, I'm pulling up his wiki page now just to see what all he did. Not that much.
No.
He was in Amadeus as Count Arco.
That's really cool. That like I don't know if I recognized him in Amadeus because like I'm trying to remember like which guy in Amadeus sounds like the Sultan from Aladdin, but I don't think there was. I think he was just genuinely playing a character.
He was Krebs the koala in The Rescuers Down Under. He was.
We can't escape from the movies He Who Shall Not Be Named likes.
He was Plaza Hotel Man in Ghostbusters 2.
Okay, that's the Ghostbusters movie I've seen the least thus far.
What the hell is Palookaville?
Oh.
Well, he plays Old Man in Palookaville.
Well, that's a future too many movies waiting to happen, folks.
Yeah, episode 298, Palookaville.
He was the dad in Almost an Angel.
You're like
Stop
making stuff
making
up
up
now
movies,
at this
William.
point. Yeah, like each movie you say, I know less of.
He was the bus driver in Greg Abbott, Attorney at Law. I made that one up.
Can we talk about Florida now?
I was gonna say, I was like, is this a point where William actually makes something up, or is this like or is he actually just continuing?
He was Boswell in Mr. Destiny. That one's real.
Okay. Mr. Destiny. My God. Look, point is, I liked him. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
How do we feel about this Santa Claus?
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
I like his I like when he says my name is Santa Claus, and
he's very whimsical.
Yeah.
And I think it works well with Ernest, especially there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Let's talk about Ernest in this movie.
He's Ernest.
He's Ernest. He's Ernest.
If you know how he is, you know how he is.
Yeah, I always got the feeling from, because like I've never watched the Ernest movies until we started watching them in like Wheel Nights, that like I'm not supposed to like Ernest, where I'm just like, because they're supposed to be like these dumb kids movies, but like I don't know, as far as dumb kids movies go, I feel like these movies understand what they are, so I can't really get mad at them. Like, I'd probably say this is my least favorite Ernest film thus far, but like, it's not like it's horrible. I didn't think it was horrible.
I mean, Ernest still has good bits in it.
In the world of commercials that got extended into full movies, this is better than Space Jam. So,
yeah.
Well, that's not saying much.
No,
correct. But the fact that the fact of the matter is, it's better than Space Jam.
I mean, I'll agree that Space Jam is not good. I personally like Space Jam, but no, I will absolutely concede that, like, yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, because at least, unlike Space Jam, this one's a lot more focused. Like, we know Ernest is the main character, whereas like Space Jam, who cares,
Yeah.
Wayne Knight turns into a CG abomination.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen in Ernest Saves Christmas, so I'll give you that.
I'm glad it doesn't happen.
No, I know. Yeah. We're all glad.
Imagine that the teenage girl sidekick in this movie pulls out giant Wayne Knight out of the bag. Just what every kid wants for Christmas.
Yeah. CGI Wayne Knight.
Newman.
Alan.
How the Newman stole Christmas.
Yeah.
No, I would watch that.
I'd watch that. Yeah.
We're never going to get through this episode.
No, we're not.
Can we talk about Florida now?
Oh, right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie.
This Christmas movie, the holiday famous for snow and wintry things, takes place entirely in fucking Florida. Orlando, Florida.
Our theory was it was cheaper to film there, in Florida, which I buy. But also, yeah, wait a minute, like
that wasn't my theory. I had no theory. In fact, it's not it was like, is this an Ernest thing? No, because when I looked it up, he was created in fucking Nashville.
Nashville,
so no,
Tennessee?
He's not a Florida thing.
I don't know. Is he supposed to be like in every state in every one of his movies? Because like, where did Rides Again and Goes Back to School take place in? Do we remember?
I don't remember.
No,
I guess it's like every town has an Elm Street, every town has an Ernest.
Sure.
They're just rolling off the assembly line.
Yeah, except
50
Ernest
is for America.
Yeah, whereas this one takes specifically in Florida. But yeah, that also raises the question, why is Santa going to find his successor in a place that's not cold? Like,
yeah, like
doing
no sense. Would he even like living in the North Pole at that point? It's like, wow, this is fucking miserable. I want to go back to Orlando. At least they have Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, exactly. It just makes no sense. But then again, I guess because it's a dumb 80s Christmas children's movie, we're not supposed to think about that. But then it's like, okay, I'm not blinded by nostalgia though for this movie. I can't really overlook these things. These are like genuine questions I have.
When I was a kid, I didn't know that like Florida and like SoCal didn't get winter the same way we did. So like when I was watching the Drake and Josh Christmas special, I'm like, why isn't it snowing there? And I found out later, they don't get winter.
No, they don't get
They
winter.
get fall too.
Fall too, let's baby.
That's a good way of putting it, fall too.
Yeah. Olivia was complaining about the temperature reaching down to the 40s like 2 days ago. Like, what are you complaining about the 40s?
I love it being in the 40s. You kidding? I can wear a sweatshirt.
Yeah, you get it.
Yeah. You especially get it. You're in Chicago. That's like that's like worse than
yeah. It gets pretty cold up in here. It gets a bit quirky up in here.
Yeah.
You know, like a 40 degree day in October sucks, but a 40 degree day in February, it's amazing.
That is amazing.
It's like, it's nice and warm out now. I can take my coat off a little.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, 40 degree weather. Happy to see it in February. after you have those shitty weeks of 20-degree weather, and like, oh my god, this is miserable.
Yeah.
Our southern listeners are just like, I don't get any of this.
Our southern listeners got it once, and it destroyed their power grid.
2 inches of snow. Holy shit!
Yeah, but like I guess I could like just talk about general thoughts of the movie because like I have a weird critique with this movie. I brought it up during our watch through. I feel like the third act doesn't have enough Ernest, where it's like he just kind of takes the sideline and he just kind of like doing his thing. He's not even doing his usual shtick. His shtick is sidelined for like drama question mark.
I guess we need to talk about the plot now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I vaguely alluded to it.
Let's run down the plot.
Yeah.
Okay,
please, you explain it.
Old man Santa Claus pulls up in Orlando. They make a bunch of jokes about who this man is. Like, oh, where are you from? Up north. What business you in? Toys. And they do jokes like that at the airport. He gives them his passport. It literally says Santa Claus.
With a mug shot.
The guy looks at the thing, then looks at everyone else, remembers he's in Florida, and says, I don't give a shit. I hate this job. And just lets him through.
He's probably let 7 people already that
meanwhile,
have Santa Claus in their
Ernest is a taxi driver in Florida. Dear God.
And he's the safest driver there.
Yeah, no, we were making that joke that Ernest is the safest Florida driver because I mean the way he drives, he was endangering people, but like he didn't kill anybody.
I mean, he put that one dude in a catatonic state. Mind you, it was his own passenger, but you know.
Yeah, he did it for the lulz.
You know that the dummy they used for that guy too in those shots was actually pretty decent. Like you could tell, it was like I'm pretty sure that was like a rubber dummy because the way he was like bopping up against the cab and stuff. But like, pretty good dummy if it was.
Yeah.
What was the budget on this?
6.5
million. Made 28.2 million.
Okay.
Good job, Ernest. You did it.
You made a profit, Ernest.
Drink Coke. And then, meanwhile, at one point, Ernest picks up a runaway girl from Indiana, of all places. Why is she here? She jumps in the cab to get away from this dude after she dined and dashed.
Yeah.
And she becomes the sidekick for the rest of the movie now, somehow.
Just cause.
He has nothing going on.
Ernest gets a daughter for 2 days, apparently.
Yeah.
Ernest dad arc.
He didn't seem that bothered by it. He was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
And then they meet Santa Claus. Oh, because he gives Santa Claus a ride at one point, and then they pick up the girl.
And then they pick up the girl, yeah.
SMH, William, stop mixing up your Ernest lore.
So then Ernest goes to school and then rides a cannon. Okay, so that this whole thing, he doesn't take money from either of them because he's a nice guy, which gets him fired from his job.
Yeah.
Santa goes to the agency or whatever, the place where the set where Joe, the guy who wants to become the new Santa, works, hosting a children's show program, I think.
Well, that's later in the movie. When he first meets him, he's at the children's museum, but there's like a classroom there. They say it's the children's museum.
Maybe he's like a guest speaker there or something.
Yeah, because that's when he's doing the dinosaur puppets.
Yeah.
Oh God, don't remind me.
I like dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs are cool.
Yeah, dinosaurs are cool.
I like how the whole reason we picked this movie and are judging it against things that are not even in the movie.
Well, we'll get to that. I don't know if you want to explain a little bit more of the plot.
Hello, I'm the Ernest critic, and I watched it, so I had to.
But yeah, so then later in the movie, what happens between when he's at the children's hospital? Oh, he gets arrested because he keeps saying he's Santa Claus, and Joe and Joe's agent don't believe him. And then all of a sudden he gets arrested because he's causing a ruckus or something.
I guess he's like a public nuisance.
Yeah, so then he gets arrested. He's at the police station, and they're like getting. Remember, they're like getting his fingerprints, and like his fingerprints.
There's like snowflakes on them,
which is weird. Is that like a Santa thing?
Yeah. Does Joe get them at the end of the movie? Spoilers.
Spoilers for this Ernest movie from 1988.
Yeah, spoilers for this movie the audience isn't gonna fucking watch.
spoilers for this movie that maybe the audience has watched, or maybe they've seen that video that has to do with this movie. Yeah, okay, and then they break him out of prison because they say they're from the government, and they just believe him.
Yeah.
And then Santa Claus goes to Joe. Joe's on the movie set because he was offered this film role for the movie Christmas Sleighs, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh, it's a horror movie. Oh,
The horror."
Well, like,
Yeah.
okay, because, in real life, they would have told you that initially from the get-go, at which point, if you didn't like it, that'd be your problem. I think the thing in the movie is aren't very clear what the movie is ahead of time, because they say Christmas sleigh, like, actual sleigh.
Yeah. Well, it's Santa Claus. It's Santa Claus himself who's just like, I thought this was called Christmas Sleighs, and like, so Joe understands what he's in for. But then he also is just like, I don't know about, because then there's that meeting later on where he's just like, I don't know about this type of language, and it's just like, dude,
Because he doesn't want to do it in front of the children, I think. Because, like, oh, must protect the children. I love the children. Not that way, though.
which, let's be honest, we brought this up. Those children, if they're in show business, have heard way worse.
Those children, if they live in Florida, have heard and seen worse.
Exactly. So, Joe,
And it's I think the whole point of the going for is like, you can't defile Christmas tradition. It's Christmas. It's wholesome. It's pure. And it's like, have some goddamn fun for once. The guy
Yeah.
who made Christmas Story also made Black Christmas a decade before.
yeah, exactly. This movie came out the same year as what's considered another Christmas classic, Die Hard, which some people don't want to like consider a Christmas classic because it's violent, but it's like, dude, who cares? Like, there's I never understood that argument, but like,
It's like I saw a poll recently done by some website that actually said about alternate Christmas movies, and more people said Die Hard was a Christmas movie than Gremlins. Which is stupid, but I think the whole Die Hard Christmas movie thing has actually worked at this point, to the point now where people are objecting to other movies that are blatantly more Christmas related.
yeah, I don't know. If really, who cares if it's an argument? I really just
The movie
Just
takes place during Christmas, it counts.
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Also,
exactly.
the song December 1963, Oh What a Night by Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons. Late December, it sounds like he's at a party. What kind of party would he be at in late December? That's a Christmas song.
That's a Christmas song. I remember you were trying to make that argument, which I'll agree with that. I'm fine with that.
Guys, we can't get argument about like silly shit. We gotta save Christmas.
I know.
I'm looking
Let's
at
get
the
back
poster on the Wikipedia article, and it's great. The tagline for this movie is just, he's back, and this time, Ernest saves Christmas.
It's so
I mean,
good. It's so
that's
good.
quick and to the point, if I'm being honest.
He's back, and this time he saves Christmas.
Yeah, baby.
I don't know what I expected.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I was worried he wouldn't, because like the second half of this film was like so unearnest. that I
Yeah,
was like,
so- Because at a certain point then, Ernest kind of just becomes like a side character in his own movie, because the actual main plot revolves around Santa Claus trying to
Yeah.
get Joe, get his stuff together. Like, because the reindeer are in... Oh, the fucking reindeer subplot is stupid.
Yeah, so there's a reindeer
it does
subplot where
nothing.
they ship the they ship the reindeer via cargo plane, and like these two airport workers are like dealing with them.
One of which looks like he was supposed to be John Candy, but isn't.
Yeah.
This dollar store John Candy.
Yeah, John Candy Corn.
They wanted to get Mellow Yellow, but they got the Great Value version.
They got
the Summit Cola.
Yeah, Summit Cola.
Oh, classic. Yeah, it's like basically they're just like, oh, we have these. Wait a minute. If the reindeer can fly, why did they get cargoized in the cargo plane?
Now you understand why this subplot is stupid.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the unfunniest subplot I've ever seen in a movie.
Well, also, they only ever cut back to her for like 30 seconds at a time half the time.
Yeah, like
It's
there's
just
that
there to remind you, oh yeah, by the way, these guys are still in the movie.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Which I mean, it does come together in the end because that's when Ernest goes to them and he's just like, "Hey, you guys got any reindeer here?" And he's like, "Yep, look in the ceiling." And
guys, look, they're up there.
It's like, they're on the ceiling.
The whole point is just to set up that brick joke for the end, where like when they first got the crate, they're like the two guys are debating how it's spelled because like the way it's written is weird, I guess. And the one guy thinks that's an M, no, that's a V. That's an M, that's a V. For Mr. Elms.
Gee, I wonder what it could be.
And at the very end of the movie, the two little guys show up and say, "A package for Helper Elves," because it was a V.
Yeah,
that was the joke. But
not one of Ernest's finest moments. Not one of the Ernest film's finest moments. I'll say.
Well, Ernest was barely in that part, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's fine.
I'm saying that's why I said the Ernest films, not Ernest himself.
And then there's a really lame end credits tag right before the credits that flashes back to them. We're doing the same gag again of what the package is, and then just two big rabbit ears burst out of the box.
Yeah. Oh yeah!
Why did the Easter Bunny shipped himself?
Yeah.
But does Ernest save Easter? No.
Well, we never saw it, and we never will see it because Jim Varney's dead.
Yeah, he died in 2000. He's been dead the whole time.
Yeah, so we'll never get another Ernest movie, sadly.
Yeah.
The Easter Bunny shipped himself and suffocated in transit.
Yeah. That's what happened in the Ernest lore.
That's the canon version.
Know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. I know what you mean.
Well, so, all right. We get to the climax, and Joe agrees to be Santa Claus. This is the scene where, like, Ernest, like, gets the sleigh, and he's, like, riding it around the world, and, like, a la like Superman the movie, where he's just going around the earth, but he doesn't go back in time, unfortunately.
He also doesn't know who Blitzen is.
Yeah. Why was that a running joke? Like, I don't know who Blitzen is.
That's the easiest reindeer name to remember.
It's the last one.
Maybe that's why that's the joke? Question mark?
Like, if anything, I pronounce Donner the other way or something. Because, like...
Dunder?
Yeah, Donder or Donner. People say it both ways. Like, which one is it?
Well, the original was Dunder, because it was German.
Okay.
Because Dunder and Blitzen, that's German. But then I guess somewhere along the line, like somewhere between that and 1964 Rudolph, it became Donner. So somewhere between that, it turned into Donner.
Now remember, Ernest, you have to say the reindeer names exactly. Klaatu, Donder, Blitzok.
I want you to make that joke every time you come back on here, somehow.
This entire episode's just William making us laugh.
Yeah, that's why. Why do you think I brought him back?
But
anyway,
keep bringing him back.
Yeah, he keeps coming back. Know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, can we talk about the very end where like Santa Claus reveals his real name?
Yeah, what the fuck was his real name again?
Seth Applegate.
Jinx. That is okay. That was so stupid. And it's like Santa has actual fucking names in real life. Yeah, Saint Nicholas, Kris Kringle. It could use one of them.
Paul Giamatti. I mean, come on. Like, yeah, you have options.
Seth Applegate?
I guess they just wanted their own copyrightable Santa lore.
You can't copyright a name like that.
But consider this, like, if he could have used Seth Applegate and nobody would have looked at him weirdly. They would have been like, because like at the beginning when he like brings his passport and he's just like, oh, that's my name, Seth Applegate. And it's like, oh, okay, that's not weird. We're not going to arrest you. It's like he could have saved so much time if he just said, I'm Seth Applegate. And then when he got to seeing Joe, then he was just like, hey, Joe, I'm actually Santa Claus.
Well, to be fair, Seth Applegate was born in like, he became Santa Claus in like 1880s. So it's like Seth Applegate would be long dead to the average folk.
Okay, but then they would never have known a Seth Applegate to begin with.
Yeah. Are you saying there's more than one 100-year-old out there?
Yes.
Besides Santa Claus?
Also, it just hit me. I think I know the real reason why he went to Florida, because he was retiring at the end. And he's old.
Oh, still stupid.
It's stupid. It's a stretch, but like he's old.
He does start hitting on that woman at the end.
Yeah.
You know, so
the other old lady.
Yeah, the old lady. Yeah. What
a
film.
movie, that Ernest.
Okay, I think I'm ready to explain why we watched it, and I'm going to let Buster explain why.
Oh God, I have to explain it?
Well, you are the reason why we're talking about
Okay,
it, so...
okay, so,
You can
I
say it
don't
in
know
5
when,
seconds.
but me and Hal got super hyper fixated on the Nostalgia Critic review for this movie because of a couple of jokes that got cut out of the official upload. You can still find the jokes on YouTube through unofficial uploads.
Yes.
But, like, the 2 jokes, where one was about autism,
Yeah, naturally.
and the other was the Nostalgia Critic saying a very word.
So
The clip gets posted on Twitter every year.
should I put? I'll put the clip in like right now in the episode. I'll play it like
Why is
now.
Close D.
What's up, my niggas?
When Santa Claus gets arrested, he goes to jail, and he looks around and sees everybody, and there's like one singular black man.
Yeah. And Doug, for whatever reason in 2009, was just like, I know the perfect joke for me to make right now. Which is really weird. Well, so...
It's telling of the time period.
It is telling of the time period, but he has never, ever made another joke like that, ever. Like, in any other video.
It's
Obviously
so
not
out of
today.
character.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
I
that's
think the
why...
joke is that's supposed to be out of character because it's an old man saying it.
No, but he's said out of character things as when like having an old person say something raunchy before. He's made that joke before. The thing is, he's never used the N-word like that.
Yeah.
Like that's why I'm so hyper fixated on this one like 3-second clip that I can find on YouTube because one, he deleted it from the actual review, which makes it 10 times funnier now that we can find it still on YouTube.
Well, what's also funnier is the fact that he did the top 11 fuck-ups video at one point, and he apologized for the autism joke.
Yeah.
Said nothing about this one, baby.
Well, that's the other thing, too, is like I've seen the autism joke. I mean, I say joke in quotation
It's not
marks.
even a joke. He just says, oh, he's teaching the autistic kids.
Yeah, and you're just like, oh, okay.
There's no joke there.
That's not
He
a
said
sticker.
He said autism.
Laugh.
Lol, I guess. I don't know. You know, it's kind of the same thing. He just says the N-word. Where's the joke? I mean, well, you know what? At the very least, there's a bit of the joke with the N-word because, yeah, isn't it funny that Santa Claus, this old white dude, says the N-word? I mean, there's an attempt there.
2009 was weird.
It
really
was weird.
was.
It was weird.
Summer of Love, baby. They brought it back.
They brought it back. But yes, basically the only reason we watch this is because of
We
that
love
one.
Ernest.
We love we love Ernest. We do unironically love the Ernest movies. We sometimes when William's feeling funny, he'll just pop on an Ernest movie during wheel night.
We did it twice. The one time was because we landed on it, and the other time was because we found out that Olive Garden guy was in the movie.
Right. So who knows when the next time we'll watch another Ernest movie?
When I feel like suffering enough that we'll just say, hey guys, Ernest goes to Africa. I'm sure this will age perfectly.
Exactly.
I'm sure this will be a nice, wholesome time.
Listen.
No stereotypes at all.
We're in it for the long run at this
You know,
point.
this is
We're
technically
going
a
to
Disney
eventually
movie.
watch it. Yeah, that is true.
Guys, the music was done by Mark Snow. Get it? Christmas.
Is that like a Mark Webb situation because they hired him because he has the word in his name that is associated with Spider-Man?
Oh no, he's apparently done music for the X-Files.
Yeah, he did the X-Files theme.
Look, I'm sure the guy is talented, but like Snow Christmas movie,
Yeah.
I'm sure the dude is massively talented though. I'm not trying to knock the guy down.
I know. You're just being a silly.
I am being a silly. Well, we've done it. I think we've explained enough about the movie. Is there really anything to go in depth with it?
Ernest Saves Christmas is the only Ernest film out of the original Disney 4 to not receive a release on Blu-ray.
Aww.
Really? I didn't know that, actually.
It has a DVD release.
Yeah, from 2002, but it doesn't have a Blu-ray yet. Wild.
Interesting.
Because it's one of the more well-known Ernest movies.
Yeah, I was going to say, like...
You'd think at least the Disney Movie Club would have it.
Yeah, that's weird. And plus, like, apparently some people are nostalgic for this. Like, I don't know. This seems like one that would have a Blu-ray release. Or, I don't know, maybe they're sitting on that one, waiting for the right time.
Well, I feel like
know.
this wouldn't be one, especially now that would go the wide retail. This would be like a Disney Movie Club thing, if anything.
Right, okay.
And the same company has such classics as Herbie Goes Bananas and Monkeys Go Home.
Yeah, baby. They went
Monkeys
home.
Go Home?
Yeah, it's like a 60s movie about a bunch of actual monkeys going to college.
That's not home.
So that one episode of Futurama?
Something like that. Black Cauldron has a Blu-ray from there.
Okay.
That's where you can get Black Cauldron on Blu-ray, the Disney Movie Club.
For all you Black Cauldron fans
You
out
can also
there.
get Tangled, the series, on Blu-ray from the Disney Movie Club, which is kind of neat.
Yeah,
that
I heard
is
that's a
cool.
good show.
Yeah. So it's nice that it's on physical. You have to join the Disney Movie Club to get it, though.
Right.
But if you click my affiliate link...
I wish we had affiliate links.
No, like, you can actually just straight up, like, get a link from the Disney Movie Club to, like, refer a friend. If they click on it, use it to sign up, you can get free movies off of them.
I'm still debating that. Don't worry, William. I'm thinking about it.
Give me free shit!
I know.
Maybe if they have something I really want, I'll think about it.
Do you want The Weekenders on DVD?
Oh,
more than anything.
Yeah, actually, I do want to watch The Weekenders, so maybe.
Cool, you can get The Weekenders on DVD from the Disney Movie Club.
Yeah.
They have Goofy Movie!
Oh,
I think it's pretty apt that we're talking about a Blu-ray release of Ernest Saves Christmas, because knowing this show, we talk about physical media, but clearly there's no Blu-ray release. Now, here's the thing. I was not going to buy this on physical anyway. I'm going to be real. I don't hate the movie, but like watching through it, I'm like, really, the connection I have with this movie the most is that Nostalgia Critic video. And even then, it's not even the official upload on the Channel Awesome YouTube channel. It's the version they don't want you to see. So
Also, this movie's on Disney Plus, so, like...
Right.
Which is funny to think about.
It is funny to think about. Very funny. So, I'm going to be honest. I don't see this joining the collection anytime soon. I'm sorry. It's just not happening. I don't know. What William, what about you?
I don't care about this movie.
Buster?
I'm gonna forget we watched it in like a month until someone reminds me.
Yeah.
Okay, the only way I would own this movie is if someone made an Ernest box set with like all the Ernest movies and it came with that.
Yo,
You know,
you gotta get
that would be really
get
cool.
Shout Factory on it. The Ernest Complete Collection. Get all the rights sorted out for one big Ernest box set. It'll come with a giant ass lithograph of an Ernest collage by Devin Whitehead.
Yes,
It's gonna be
please.
great.
Honestly, I wouldn't put it past Shout Factory to do an Ernest collection. That sounds right up their alley.
I would, if they did it before Elm Street, I would punch them in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you take your Freddy Claw and just slash him in the face.
Give me my Elm Street 4Ks, you fucks. The 40th anniversary's coming up. Do it, bitch.
Time's a ticking. Tick tock.
Warner Brothers might be dead soon. Someone's got to take advantage of it. Someone sell my Warner Brothers stock. I have an inside tip that Bugs Bunny's about to die. I posted that picture yesterday on Twitter because of the news, and it got like 1,000 fucking likes out of nowhere because it's the easiest joke to make.
You usually do get the most likes with the easiest jokes, which is a shame because sometimes when you put actual effort into your jokes, I mean, actual effort. Let me say that with quotations.
You're saying I didn't put any effort into the Amelia Earhart tweet?
No, I believe you. Well, the effort you put into that is you looked up, hey, did Amelia Earhart
The effort I
actually
put
get
into it
eaten
was
by
comment on
coconut
James's
crab?
post.
Yeah, that too. Which, yeah. Fun fact: yes, James did eat Amelia Earhart. Let's
watched
lay
him do
down the
it.
facts right now. Yeah, we watched him do it.
Yeah, I have video of it.
Yeah, we have video of it. We're
Yeah.
not going to show it to you though.
We'll only show it if Hal gets to 10k subs.
I'll do it if you give me $10K
Sure.
dollars.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I want 10K subs. William wants $10K. Let's go, people.
I'll do it for money. If Raid Shadow Legends pays me enough.
Well, speaking of doing things for money,
Oh.
do you think James Gandolfini did Surviving Christmas for money?
Oh,
was a
1000% yes.
It was a paycheck.
Yeah. So, speaking of James Gandolfini, let's talk about that. So, obviously, this is a podcast. We talk about the movies in my collection, yada, yada, yada. So, to coincide with Ernest Saves Christmas, I thought, well, the original plan was I wanted to watch Surviving Christmas. And I wanted William along for that because I think that would have been funny. And then Buster wanted to do Ernest Saves Christmas. We just married the 2 episode ideas. Here we go. So we're talking about Surviving Christmas. It is a 2004 holiday movie starring Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini, Tony Soprano himself.
Yeah, baby.
And that is the only reason I've watched this movie is because Tony Soprano's in it. Because I am obsessed with The Sopranos. I fucking love that show. It is easily... I honestly, for years, have said that, like, you know, The Simpsons is my favorite show of all time. But I honestly could probably replace it with The Sopranos at this point. I love The Sopranos that much. Like, it is one of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. It is so good. That's my mini Sopranos review out of the way. Let's talk about Surviving Christmas.
Oh, no.
So, like,
a movie we've survived.
This movie got different Razzie nominations, and it didn't win any of them. Is that more embarrassing or less embarrassing?
Well, probably less embarrassing because the Razzies themselves are embarrassing.
Yeah.
True.
But Hal, did you know anything about this movie besides James Gandolfini?
No, not a thing. Not a thing.
And you're the one that actually owns it, so you could have read the back of the box.
Well, do you want me to read the back of the box right now?
Yeah,
I guess.
I'll read it.
We know what happens. We already know what happens in the movie because we watched it 2 days ago.
Yeah, but
The audience. Think about the audience, William.
But yeah, sometimes we can get some comedic value out of reading the back of the box. I never do it, but I should be doing it more.
True,
All
I
right.
did it more than you on this show so far.
That is true. You have done it more than me, canonically.
And all it was good for was making it so that I beat Ben's record.
Yeah, you know he's gonna come back with a vengeance after that.
Yeah, what's he got to pick to do it though?
We're gonna have a 4-hour Prestige episode now, unfortunately.
Oh, no.
And I'll join that episode just so he can't beat me.
Great, you, Mordo, me, Ben, Prestige, 4 hours. Oh boy.
It's gonna be
Yeah.
the podcast of all time.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll be like the critic cut out. Buy my book. Every so often I'll just cut in and say buy my book.
Yeah.
I am technically in the episode.
Yeah, exactly.
William, what did you think of The Prestige? Buy my book.
Anyway, let's read this DVD. It's madness, mischief, and mayhem when rich executive Drew Latham, Ben Affleck, decides to rent himself a family for the holidays. Okay. Tired of spending Christmas alone, Drew makes the Valcos, James Gandolfini, Christina Applegate, and Catherine O'Hara, and Brian, don't forget Brian, but I guess he's not a bigger name as the other actors, so they don't name his name. So Drew makes the Valcos an offer they should have refused. Oh, get it? Because Godfather? Because Tony Soprano's in it, even though it's not the Godfather?
You know, they don't even emphasize the fact that they're Italian, other than the fact that it's James Gandolfini.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so now their annoying guest and his outrageous demands are turning their Noel into a nightmare in this hilarious slapstick comedy. I can think of 3 words that are wrong with that. That puts the fun in family dysfunction.
No.
It's the back of a DVD. Like they were really hamming it up there. Speaking of ham, Ben Affleck drops a ham in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, right. He burned his hands on the hot stove.
For no reason other than it was funny to see Ben Affleck drop a ham. Even though
No,
it
it
wasn't
wasn't.
funny. No, it wasn't. But that's the thing.
Also,
was
I want to
embarrassing.
point out that at the beginning of this movie, before he rented a family, someone, I forgot who, said, is he going to rent a family? Or, like, just rent a family? And it's like, the fact that the actual plot of the movie...
Yeah, this is the stupidest plot ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, Ben Affleck is like this rich and super successful guy, and he has a very loving girlfriend. And to celebrate Christmas, he gets her tickets to Fiji as a present. And naturally, she hates that because
I want to spend Crimbo with my family. Why don't you ever want to spend time with your family, Ben Affleck? I'm going to go home with my family and leave you alone in this wallow.
let me go back to my mother, Letitia.
Fuck your expensive Fiji tickets. Which, like, that's... No one's going to react like that. And it's like, okay, here's the thing. Did they ever establish how long those two have been together for? Because it sounded like they've been together for a while based on the conversation they had beforehand.
I mean, he's getting her tickets to Fiji. Like, I know he's rich and all, but, like, that's not something you just, like, do out of the blue with, like, someone you just met yesterday.
Yeah.
Like, that is, like, you know, which makes the setup all the more stupid. Like, that's the thing with this movie. Like, your inciting incident makes no sense. Who the fuck says a trip to Fiji is no bueno? Like,
here's the thing.
That is mind-boggling.
Like, you could easily rewrite this whole movie with, like, a similar plotline that would actually make sense. The thing is, like, the way you do it is that you make him just, like, a Scrooge character to begin with.
Right. Which he doesn't seem that bothered by. Well, so, like, the thing is, like, he's bothered by the holidays, but not in a Scrooge type of way. Like, he wants to celebrate it. He just doesn't want to be alone.
Yeah, he's very eccentric, quotation marks.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay,
like,
so that's
he doesn't
want
to be alone, so, like, why doesn't he go with his girlfriend to her family then? Yeah. Why? Like, did the four writers not consider that? And also, like, as we learn at the end of the movie, her family is also rich. So, like, what's the problem here?
It makes no sense. So anyway, he's just like, what do I do? Oh, let me go to see my girlfriend's therapist at the airport.
Yeah, because he docks her therapist or some shit.
It's like, okay, in a smarter written movie, he would just go to his therapist and talk to them. But no, we have to be quirky and funny in this early 2000s comedy, and we have to make fun of the airport security. So, like, he's just like, hey, random therapist, played by Stephen Root, what do I do? And the therapist is just like, go to, like, a place that reminds you of your childhood, write down your grievances with your family, and then burn them. Burn, like, the piece of paper you wrote on.
I googled this and found it out 5 minutes ago. So it'll probably work.
Yeah, that does not sound like
that's
sound
effectively
advice
what he said.
That does not sound like sound advice from a legalized, licensed psychologist.
To be fair, he was
Yeah.
in the midst of airporting and, like, trying to get on vacation, so he probably just said some bullshit to be like...
To be fair, on all accounts, Drew should not have done this at all in the first place.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Right. Well,
But it's
exactly.
So then the setup is he goes to his childhood home, writes down the list of grievances and tries to burn them on the front porch. Currently at that point, Tony Soprano lives there now with his family.
Yes.
So he sees this guy outside his house burning shit. So he just walks out there with a shovel and beats the guy over the head with it.
Right.
Which,
yeah,
honestly, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Very fair.
It's
So
so
let's
based.
talk about that. This is when we're introduced to Tony Soprano, finally. I was like, oh, thank God we have James Gandolfini. And I'm just going to say it now. He is the only good part about this movie. Like, maybe that is just me and my bias, and just because he does use his, like, Italian voice in this movie, he sounds just like Tony Soprano. I mean, there's a lot less fuck words, but, like, you know, he definitely gets, like, the cadences down. He even obsesses over an Italian meat in this movie.
Salami.
Like, come on. Yeah, it's not gabagool, it's salami, but, like, give and take.
To be fair to you, Hal, I have not seen The Sopranos yet. I still thought James Gandolfini was the best part.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's just so naturally funny, I feel like. I don't know, just like this dude, something about him is just so funny.
Yeah.
Like, because he just seems so genuine in, like, everything he says. Because, like, he's in, like, this insane situation, and he's treating it pretty insanely, where he's just like, get the fuck out of my house. Like, what are you doing here?
I'll give you $20,000. Okay, you can stay.
Yeah, Kay, you can say that was funny. That was funny because James
He's doing it for
Gandolfini
money.
is actually funny. Yeah.
Why is he
exactly.
in this movie? For money. What's his character's motivation in the movie? Money.
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. That is really funny.
So, and it's like, yeah, that's literally the setup. It's like, can I stay with your family? No, are you fucking stupid? I'll give you a bunch of money because I'm rich. Oh, yeah, you can stay.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, it's like, you know, the problem in the movie is that, like, Drew is the one with all of the power over these people the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He's responsible for everything that happens here. It's like, I'm going to give you guys a bunch of money. You have to do what I say. And it's like, okay, cool. Like, normally in a movie like this, what would happen is that the poor family who loves Christmas would find him, show him the meaning of the holidays. It'll be a joyous time, and they'll warm his heart. And you're like, I understand now. I love Christmas. I'll help you guys out for showing me the light. Here's a bunch of money. He gives it to them as a gift instead of as a bribe, like in this movie.
Right. Well, let's talk about Drew, who's, yes, played by Ben Affleck. He's so uncharismatic, it's amazing. I don't want to be mean to Ben Affleck, but I have to ask, how the fuck has he stayed famous for so long with movies like this? Like, he is so uncharismatic in, like, these comedies I see him in. I don't know. Have you guys ever seen Geely?
No.
Okay. He's in that movie. He sucks in that movie. He is so uncharismatic.
Yeah, it seems like he's trying to be, like, this hyperactive character. But
well, so in Geely, he's trying to be this, like, cool, suave dude, but he comes across as, like, a big fucking idiot. And, like, in here, yeah, he's supposed to be, like, this eccentric rich guy, like, this crazy rich guy who's, like, you know, quirky, but, like, I don't get that at all. I just get Ben Affleck awkwardly acting. Like,
yeah,
you know,
it's very
like,
awkward.
Well, the movie is basically him, like, being this control freak to these people and, like, being like, no, we have to do Christmas this way. Like, oh, I brought in this old guy, Doodah, to be the grandpa. And
I found him at the fucking community theater. Is now your grandpa.
Yeah,
like
Doodah.
It.
Which, look, I love Doodah. He actually has some great scenes in the movie.
He's the second best part of the movie.
Exactly. But, like, I don't know. Like, just I don't buy Ben Affleck as being this, like, crazy eccentric rich guy.
He
like,
strikes me as like an actor who is a good actor that can act, but you need a good director to pull it out of him.
Yeah.
There's a point to be made about the director of this movie, but we'll get to that later.
We'll get to that later.
Not yet, Minion, not yet.
But yeah, no, he just doesn't fill the role that, like, an eccentric asshole would be. Like, when I think eccentric asshole, I think Kuzco from Emperor's New Groove, or Bill Murray in, like, Scrooged, or Groundhog Day. Exactly. Like, you know, I'm just thinking of, like, you know, when I think of, like, charismatic jerks, like, just somebody, like, you know, somebody who is kind of a dick. And kind of like, yeah, I feel like this movie, he's not supposed to be more of a dick. He's supposed to be a little more eccentric.
Yeah, like,
but he's still like a crazy asshole.
Yeah, he comes across really creepy in this film, and so
his character is like he
needs to be likable.
He's always at max. He's too up. He's like Spencer from iCarly if he was a dick.
Ooh. Yeah,
that's a good.
It's like this kind of character is not supposed to be like a high energy peppy guy. He's supposed to be like the smart ass. He's supposed to be the Archer kind of character.
Yeah, I can see that.
He's
because
supposed to be a little more low key. He's not supposed to be like, we're gonna do all this. We're gonna see Santa. It's gonna be great. I'm giving you $20 billion.
We're gonna go see Santa at the trailer park. Like, yeah, like it's just so strange, these choices, because then later on in the movie, when he has to have, like, that emotional moment where he, like, finally admits, like, oh, the reason I'm so blue around Christmas is da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, okay, I don't buy any of that because, like, why should I take anything you say seriously?
And, like, it's a legitimate tragic backstory that makes sense for this kind of movie that, like, in a better movie would perfectly fit here. But it also raises questions about the beginning of the movie. It's like, okay, so the reason your problem with your family is that you literally did not have one. Your father walked out when you were a kid, and your mom died when you were in college. Why did you not tell your girlfriend that while you were dating?
Yeah, like that's such a and you don't have extended
Like
family.
that's not even
beyond
a
that?
Christmas thing either. That's a first date thing of, oh, so what's what life of your folks? Oh, I don't have a family. My mom died when I was in college. My dad walked out when I was a kid.
Yeah, exactly. Like you lay these things out. Like if your girlfriend doesn't know that,
That's kind of
a
on
shitty-
you.
That's that's on you. That's a shitty relationship. No wonder she walked out on you after you gave her tickets to Fiji. Like something's missing there, dude. Like
There's a lot missing. Like, did you see all the stuff that was missing from his apartment?
yeah, oh, my
This
god, yeah.
apartment is
Let's-
so wide.
He has a massive Chicago apartment, and like he has like nothing. It's like the rich guy equivalent of the mattress on the floor in the folding chair with the Xbox.
It's hilarious how little there is in his apartment. It's like, did he really need like who came up with this? Like
Buy
who-
some things. You're rich. Put a table there.
Is the joke supposed to be that like, oh, his life is so empty around the holidays that his apartment's so empty? But
This
it's
movie is not smart enough for me to get to say that.
that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
this,
Yeah.
it was like a miserable time watching this. Just,
And yeah, let's get into that. So the whole movie is just Ben Affleck like holding this family hostage and making them do stupid stuff, and like that's it. That's where the comedy comes from. And you're like, okay, one, this main character is a dickhead. I don't sympathize with him at all. Even at the very end where you have like the scene where he's like admits like, oh, I didn't have a family. Like, I don't care. Like nothing up until that point made me like this character. Why should I like him just because you give like a tragic backstory? Like it's the same thing as Davy in 8 Crazy Nights. Like you can't just have this asshole for like the whole movie and then at the very end be like, oh, by the way, now he's good now.
you
It's
got to
like, no,
work
that's-
towards that progression.
You got to work towards it. Exactly.
You also have to hint at it too to make it work.
Exactly. There is never like the movie thinks it's hinting at it because it's just like, oh, why are you like this? But like that's not enough.
That's not a
Like,
hint. That's just telling that there's a question that needs to be answered later. You need to
Exactly.
actually hint at it, like show pictures of like his mom in like the hospital or something.
or something. Like anything. Something.
Yeah,
And like
anything.
the whole thing is like you watch this movie and it's like you can tell exactly what kind of movie this is supposed to be, and you can easily rewrite into that movie. So it feels like they're deliberately doing different things just to be different that are just making it worse. Which
Exactly.
may actually be what happened because what we found out saw the writers. Should we
That's
just mention
true.
that now real quick?
yeah,
or-
let's mention the
Yes.
writers. Let's
Okay,
mention
so the writers of this movie, I noticed it right at the beginning while we were watching it. I had to pause and go back to it. It says it was written by this person and this person as like a writing duo, and then a completely different writing duo after them. And it's like, this was written by 2 different duos of writers,
Yeah.
which that gives me the semblance sign that like, oh, so these guys wrote the movie, and then for whatever reason, someone didn't like it, so they hired these 2 other guys to ruin the script.
And the
And
first
frankly, yeah, we found this out. We saw who was the first set of writers? What'd they do?
Deborah Kaplan and Harry Alfont, they did Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah, like that, which is a musical satire and comedy.
Yeah.
I
Also,
like that movie.
Can't Hardly Wait from 1998. I don't know what that film is. It's
Yeah,
just
like
also amazing.
the very 2000s writers.
Yeah.
But then it's like, okay, but they probably, or they're more competent from what I've at least seen of them from the one movie.
Yeah.
Then they have the 2 other guys come on. What did they do?
Rio 2011, The Tooth Fairy,
With
from
Dwayne The
starring
Rock Johnson.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson, and Yogi Bear from 2010.
Yeah, so the Josie and the Pussycats guys wrote a movie, and then they had the Yogi Bear guys ruin it.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds like what happened. We have no proof of this. That's just what it looks like is happening to me. So that's the story I'm going to go with.
And this
I-
is also
I'm inclined to believe
directed
it.
by
Well,
the guy.
yeah, I get. I'm going to say, like, as far as him as a director, his filmography and this kind of tells me he's a journeyman director.
Yeah, Mike Mitchell.
I feel like he doesn't. His name is Mike Mitchell. He strikes me as a journeyman director, as like he's the guy you get just to get the job done.
Yeah.
And like he seems like he's competent enough because
Yeah.
like from what he's done, he's done stuff that like not as many people would know about, like Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo. But then he's also done movies you absolutely know about, like Sky High, Shrek 4, Alvin and the Chipmunks, Chipwrecked, the second SpongeBob movie, Trolls, Lego Movie 2, and the upcoming Kung Fu Panda 4.
Yeah. Some people think we watched it because of that. No, we watched it because of Tony Soprano.
Yeah. I didn't know he directed Kung Fu Panda 4 until this week.
It's just a gigantic coincidence that he's directing Kung Fu Panda 4, and we're talking about Surviving Christmas.
Yeah.
And the Kung Fu Panda 4 trailer came out recently.
And this is hell of a disjointed filmography.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tells me that he does not have his own style. He's just getting the job done.
Exactly.
Which, like, that's not bad, especially, like, there's some good movies there, but it's also
you need
not
people like
great.
that.
Yeah, I like Sky High. I like Shrek 4. It's just, I don't like Trolls, and I don't like Surviving Christmas. So,
I hate Dare I say, I hate this movie. It, like...
Oh, yeah. That's the thing is, like, this is a miserable movie.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't jazzed about Ernest Saves Christmas. We hated this one. Like, it was not fun at all. Like, occasionally Tony Soprano said something funny, and occasionally Doodah said something funny, but, like, yeah, like, well, that's the thing is, like, the baseline story of Ben Affleck being this insane person is not funny. Like, maybe you could make it work. I don't know, but, like, certainly not from the writers of Yogi Bear.
You know, we haven't even talked about Buster's favorite part of this movie yet.
The porn.
No, not the. Okay, there's a scene where, like, to make the mom of the family happy because
Catherine O'Hara.
Because Catherine O'Hara and Tony Soprano are having relationship problems. He helps Tony Soprano buy a new car.
Yeah.
By which I mean a car from the 80s and a refurbished car from the 80s, and he has the mom do an 80s style photo shoot. The photos end up on a porn site for some reason, and the son finds them. That's subplot.
And yeah, so then he finds her on the internet. He finds her on the site, and Doodah just so happens to be there, and he goes, "Dude, that's your mom. Can you print out a picture of that for me?"
Oh, Doodah. But yeah, the actual Buster's actual favorite part of the movie. There are some themes in this movie, if you will, which aren't even real themes, but we'll get there. So, partway through the movie, the daughter of the family arrives at the house. She's older. Christina Applegate, who I mistook at first for Kristen Bell.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah. She's blonde woman. I get it.
She doesn't get along with blonde woman from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Kristen Bell was Veronica Mars.
Yeah. No,
I was going to make a joke about Veronica Mars, but I couldn't remember the name, and also found out it wasn't actually her, so I couldn't.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so she was gonna. She immediately hates Drew correctly, but throughout, but like the whole thing about the movie is like the point is like Drew is like acting as like their son. That's the bit, like, oh, you guys are gonna be a family. I'm your son. Brian's my brother. You're my dad. So he
Tony
says,
Soprano.
You're my sister now for until after Christmas.
Well, he says she's their Ecuadorian maid because he didn't have a sister
at first, which is awkward. But then eventually he says, "No, you're my sister for this," because that's the bit.
Yeah.
And where the awkwardness comes in when slowly they start to fall in love, and the whole movie now just has these awkward incest overtones, which is really weird because it's not even real incest either. This is that Walmart great value incest.
Well, then it's not even the only like heavily implied incest thing in this movie. There's also later on in the movie when
Doodah's understudy, because Doodah had work.
Understudy. Doodah had to leave, so then they got Doodah's understudy, who's this sage old black man. You know, because funny, haha, like that's just my grandpa, and he's a black guy. It's like, oh, funny. And so then Duda's understudy is so obviously hitting on Catherine O'Hara's character because even though she's supposed to be his daughter.
Oh my God.
Your grandpa's hitting on your mom. That's not a sentence you hear every day.
Yeah, exactly.
The one funny line in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's like the son who finds the mom images on the porn site, which, by the way, the mom never showed anything. How did they end up on that website?
She's just in debatedly sexy clothes, and that's it.
Yeah. At the most, it's softcore.
I know it's not even softcore. I don't even think it's not even lewd.
That's true.
It's just generically attractive MILF, I guess.
I guess. I don't know.
But yeah, it's like all that's happening. It's like it feels weirdly ancestral, but it's not even real incest either because it's all fake.
It's all fake. But
Mom, can we have incest? No, we have incest at home. Hey, wait a minute.
Mom, can we have incest? Absolutely not.
I've been waiting all day to make that joke.
Oh my God. This is
the best part though is that when we were watching it, I made the great value incest joke. That is when Jensen walked into the call.
And also, I predicted this theme. I somehow predicted this when the sister came. I was like, oh, are they going to do some, like, incest shit?
I am girl, you are boy. We must sex now.
Well, yeah, because she's, like, roughly around the same age as Ben Affleck. She's this generically attractive white blonde woman, and it's just like, oh, that's your daughter? Which, by the way, Christina Applegate is only 10 years younger than James Gandolfini, but she's supposed to be the daughter of James Gandolfini. I guess.
Look, man, 27-year-olds play teenagers on TV all the time. I don't know what to tell you.
Andrew Garfield was 31 when he made Amazing Spider-Man 2. I always think about that.
Hollywood!
Yeah.
And that is why you still get carded for M-rated video games in your mid-20s.
It's true.
William, did you just buy an M-rated video game?
No.
Oh.
I did get carded, though, when I bought the Banana Splits movie on Blu-ray.
Really?
What?
Yes.
Of all the movies to be carded for.
That is something you should be proud of. That is a good story.
I no longer own the Banana Splits movie, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Like, I was weirdly nice to that movie when I first watched it on Letterboxd. Like, I gave it 3 stars for some reason. And, like, I got a comment recently on it because people were hyped for the FNAF movie. And I'm like, I gave this 3 stars. Why? I don't even own it anymore, so that tells you something.
Yeah, no, I remember when we watched it. Well, you and me watched it separately, but I remember watching it, like, in 2019, just being like, oh, funny Banana Splits movie. And then I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is horrible.
Like, one funny moment, kind of, and that's, they don't go... They could have done so much for that movie to make it actually hilarious. And like in the bonus features, they acted like that's what they did, but they didn't.
Right.
They took it seriously for some reason.
Yeah.
Look, all I'm saying is the best FNAF movie is the one with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Still gotta watch that one.
Nicolas Cage.
Purely because of Nicolas Cage.
I think it's getting a 4K soon from Shout Factory.
Ooh,
that doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
I'm not going to buy the 4K, but you know.
Anyway, have we survived Christmas enough?
Well, no, we still have something to talk about. How about the funny misunderstanding scenes when the girlfriend from the beginning of the movie gets the bracelet he sent her from the beginning as an apology gift and decides to come to the fake family's house.
That scene had me cringing out of my soul. Yeah, that scene had me
that's the frustrating thing is like this movie is full of those like misunderstandings. And it's like, look, I get it. Like, you think writing misunderstandings is funny, but like I've rarely ever seen a movie where a misunderstanding happens and I genuinely laugh. Like, I'm just mostly uncomfortable when shit like that happens. Like, because one, explain, like, talk to these, like, have the characters talk to each other. Like, the fact that they're not talking to each other just is so stupid because, like, you can easily, like, fix everything by just being like, hey, don't come to my house or don't come to the house. But like the girlfriend's just not listening for no reason other than, oh, it's funny that she's not listening. It's so stupid.
Cringe comedy is very difficult to do correctly.
Right.
Like, I feel like one of the only movies I've seen that actually kind of gets it right is Elf, of all things.
Of all things.
And that's only because Buddy is never embarrassed by anything, so it works.
Yeah. If you're gonna have like embarrassing cringe comedy, I don't know. I feel like there needs to be some level of like naivete on like on the character that's like being cringy, I feel like that's when it's more funny, more tolerable, if you
or
will.
like the other people need to be in more like not the character doing it, but like the other characters around them need to be in more pain than you're going to be.
Right. Or at the very least, it needs to make some sense. I need to like actually buy that, like, you know, something like this misunderstanding could actually happen. Whereas I don't buy any of this. Like, oh, he's like literally trying to explain to his girlfriend and she's not listening. It's like, okay, that's not realistic.
When
like,
also, and again, this whole movie could have been avoided by an off-screen conversation 5 minutes before it began.
Right, exactly. So I guess, you know, the writers would argue, oh, but then there'd be no movie. It's like, well
then if that's a problem, then maybe your idea isn't very good.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you make concessions like that for other things, like when you push someone out of the way of a moving car instead of both of you diving out of the way. That's a concession you can make. Not something like this, because then it's just the problem. The literal inciting incident in the movie is forced. That's a problem.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's
also like he ruins that girl's life.
Yeah.
Basically,
he ruins her life for
ruined
no
the entire
reason.
family's life.
Because like that family, like the fake family has an argument, and then like the rich girl's family sees this, and they just have a random blow up out of nowhere, where in a split of time say, we're getting divorced now. Also, daughter, you're actually not my daughter. Some other dude named Skippy knocked up your mother, and she tricked me into marrying her.
Was it Skippy from Ernest Saves Christmas?
Something like that.
It probably was. Yeah. I'd say poor Letitia, but I don't feel bad for Letitia.
I feel bad for her in that exact moment, but not for like any of the other stuff that happened.
Right.
It's like
exactly.
Like, oh, her life, and like now it's like, okay, you know what? I just want to be with you now. Can we just do the Fiji trip now? I'm sorry, I'll take you back. No, I don't actually love you. What the fuck? He ruined her life.
Just a miserable
basically.
movie. Miserable.
It really is. And then like at the very end, the way the movie ends is so confusing because they go to Doodah's actual Christmas play because he's playing Scrooge in A Christmas Carol, and like this is when he makes up with all the characters,
quote unquote.
Yeah, quote unquote. Like none of it feels earned. Like even in like the scenes where he's trying to make up with these characters, like that's when he's like talking with Brian, the teenager. He's just like, "Hey, that girl next to you is pretty cute." It's just like, dude, why are we having this conversation during a fucking play?
Brian's character is just porn addict, and I hate it.
Yeah,
he's just generic awkward teenager who can't get laid.
Right.
That's the joke.
Yeah. And the punchline of that joke is he finally throws his computer over the stairwell at the end of the movie. It's
because he saw his mom's for JJ or something.
It's like, oh, haha, funny, I guess.
This movie sucks.
Yeah, no, and then at the very, very end, that's when they're just like, oh, we're gonna have coffee at that cafe. You know, even though Ben Affleck said he would never step into a cafe ever. It's like, oh,
it's like the ending to The Sopranos, but shitty.
No, the ending of Sopranos takes place in a diner.
He can go back to coffee shops again because he found a family or something. A family that only spent time with him to begin because he offered to give them a bunch of money.
Yeah, no, it's
because he's rich.
It's a totally fucked moral because it makes no sense.
The answer is terrible for Christmas. Money solves all your problems, which is technically true, but you're not supposed to say it.
Right, and they don't even do it properly.
Because he has all the power in this dynamic to begin with. It's like he's the one in charge. It's like, what is the lesson being learned here?
Who is learning the lesson in this movie? Is it Ben Affleck? Is it Tony Soprano? Who is it?
Tony Soprano's character has nothing to learn here. He did nothing wrong. It's like, he should not give a shit about this guy.
Yeah. Is it Christina Applegate's character? Well, no, because she's supposed to be like the character. Well, that's the other thing too, is like, so we don't like Ben Affleck's character. Well, you know, all three of us while watching the movie, we don't like his character. But then I don't even really like the other characters. Yeah. I mean, I like
because they're just Soprano. Stock templates.
Right. Yeah. You made a good point while watching the movie that Christina Applegate, she's bringing up good points when she's like chewing out Ben Affleck, But like, I don't sympathize with her because like that's all her character is she just doesn't like Ben Affleck until she does. It's like that's not a character. I can't relate to that.
It's like you can see the whole time. It's like you can see the outline of what this movie is supposed to be,
but there's no
Right.
meat. It's all bones.
Like this is it's like the whole. You can tell. Like you can probably just like in your head imagine what kind of movie this is supposed to be. Like just fill in the blanks yourself. It's a very tropey kind of movie. There's like a billion movies exactly like it because it works. And it feels like they instead decided we don't want to be just like any other movie, so we're going to make a bunch do this differently. It's just that when they did it differently, the choices they made were bad.
We're not going to have Tony Soprano lust after Gabagool. We're going to have him lust after salami. See, it's different.
But it's
Even
like
though
the
that
whole
goes nowhere.
But like the whole idea of like the found family Christmas movie is like it's very basic, but it works.
Yeah,
You've seen movies exactly like this.
exactly.
Like I made the joke about how this feels like a Nickelodeon style Christmas special, except it's PG-13 and was released in theaters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we forgot to mention the Mr. Mosby jump scare.
Oh yeah,
movie.
Mr. Mosby.
Yeah.
There's a couple of weird jump scares. Like I was joking about how one guy looks like Tom Kenny. It actually was Tom Kenny.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the very beginning.
Oh yeah,
where
it's like everyone's miserable.
Well, there's like like it's just a bunch of people like preparing for the holidays, but
And
the
fucking
joke
up.
is that the joke is that they're fucking up. So like Tom Kenny plays this guy wrapping a Christmas present, and he's not doing a very good job. There's this one guy who like goes up to like a Salvation Army Santa ringing the bell, and he's just putting his wallet, his watch, and his wedding ring in there. It's like what?
I think I think it was that the Santa was extorting him or something.
I guess
It wasn't handled very well.
Well,
But
the ultimate one was like the old lady putting a tray of cookies on top of her stove and then putting her head in the oven. You're like, oh,
Is she trying to kill herself?
yeah. That's the thing is like these scenes are supposed to like.
Is it a gas powered stove? Because that's the only way that would work.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like that's what makes this movie so frustrating is within the first 5 minutes. Well, one, these scenes have nothing to do with the rest of the movie. You could cut them out and nothing would change because none of the characters show up in those scenes. But like they're not even funny scenes. Like, yeah, the grandma's putting her head in the oven. It's like, okay, but they didn't film it properly. Like they filmed it from afar and she just kind of awkwardly puts her head in and then it cuts to like Ben Affleck in his world. And it's like, okay,
And like
what
that
was the point of
beginning,
that?
beginning sets it out to be like a dark, cynical black comedy, which this movie isn't.
No, yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, it's not very dark or cynical. Like, if anything, it's pretty mainstream outside of...
They play Christmas rapping at one point during the movie, which is like the poppiest Christmas song ever.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's the one where, like, when Buster was like, oh, finally, not a Christmas song.
And then,
And then
both of us, yes, it is!
Yes, it fucking is.
half of the lyrics to the song is just Merry Christmas.
In my defense, I have no defense.
In your defense, you're Muslim.
Yeah, you don't celebrate Christmas.
Yeah, which is why am I on the Christmas episode again?
Because you wanted to be!
Oh, yeah.
You were the one that actually wanted to be here! I didn't give a shit about being here! Why am I here?
Oh my God.
I can't do this alone.
What am
You wouldn't have!
What am I not a person to how?
But yeah, fucking Mr. Mosby shows up as a lawyer ratifying the contract between the family.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
completely
that's
forgot
why
till
he
you
was in
mentioned
the
And like, it is literally Phil Lewis.
Yeah.
He just shows up.
It literally is. Yeah, it literally is. We were like Zach and Cody, Mr. Mosby.
Mr. Mosby? Is that him?
Yeah.
I looked it up. Yes, it is. It is him.
Yeah. Oh, also, the actor who played Santa in the trailer park is named Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Tumbleweed.
Yeah.
Just
and
Why?
Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed.
I mean, I get it. Any Santa Claus from a trailer is absolutely named Tumbleweed. I'm just saying, it still caught me off guard.
Understandable.
What other movies was Tumbleweed in though? We have to know.
Let me look. Let me look.
Yeah, look up Tumbleweed's filmography.
Letterboxd.
We gotta know.
Tumbleweed.
We gotta know.
Tumbleweed. What, does he have a last name or is it just Tumbleweed?
It's literally just Tumbleweed.
All right, let me
Just go to the movie and click on
I found it. I found it. Okay, it's Tumbleweed. He was in the 2004 Barry Levinson, Ben Stiller, Jack Black starred movie Envy 2004. And,
Same year as Surviving
and he plays
Christmas.
a character called Lester.
Not Santa?
And in this movie called Envy, he plays a character called Lester. I don't know what that says. I guess that also goes on the too many movies list.
I guess we're gonna eventually We're gonna eventually watch Envy.
Those are his only
Tumbleweed.
2 movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro just starred in 2 movies and then dipped. He couldn't top Surviving Christmas.
Oh.
Amy Poehler's in that movie.
Oh, joy. Oh wait, I didn't mean to say that.
You've wrong Amy.
No. Amy Poehler was Joy. That's the joke. But that was the unintentional joke. I was saying "oh joy" as an ironic thing, but then I remembered, oh right, she was Joy in Inside Out.
I thought you I said Amy Schumer for a second instead of Amy Poehler.
No. I would never think of Amy Schumer. What do you take me for?
I never think of Amy Schumer.
Who's Amy Schumer?
Who?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Should we wrap up our... Wait, do you have the DVD of this, Hal?
Yeah, that's
Yes.
the reason we're doing the podcast.
That's the reason we're doing it with Ernest. I don't own Ernest on DVD, but I do have Surviving Christmas. As I said in my last episode with Yin said, same thing here. I'm pretty sure I got this because I used to clean houses for a living, and I just one day found this, and I was like, holy shit, Tony Soprano's in it. I gotta have this. So I kept it on that principle. But now that I've finally watched the movie, I'm like, well, this isn't even ironically funny.
Yeah,
like it's
pretty
miserable. It's miserable.
Yeah.
Like it is so not funny. Like, and as I had said, I rewatched 8 Crazy Nights. Well, mostly because my server wanted to watch 8 Crazy Nights, and I wanted to be the nice guy and actually show it to them. So yes, I have seen 8 Crazy Nights twice this year.
Oh, my friend has seen 8 Crazy Nights 8 times within like the last week.
I'm not doing that to myself.
Okay, good.
How?
But
How?
look,
I have an idea.
Yes,
I know you can do with this movie.
Okay.
Get a hole punch.
Yeah.
Punch a hole in the top of the disc. Tie a string in it, and hang it on a tree.
Okay, I can do that.
Because never watching this shit again. Hang it on your tree.
I'm never watching it again. But you know what? Yeah, I'll fucking do that. I'll fucking hang the disc on my tree.
Will your family be okay with that?
Ornament.
I'll make sure of it. Yeah, no, I'll
Yeah. Make sure that Surviving Christmas does not survive.
Exactly. Oh, that is so Red Letter Media of us.
Yeah.
But
we found the worst of the best.
Yeah, no, this is not the worst movie we've talked about on the podcast, but it is down there. Yeah. It is so not funny.
It was definitely the worst Christmas movie I've seen.
Well, yeah, no, as I was saying with 8 Crazy Nights, I like it less than 8 Crazy Nights. I would sooner rewatch 8 Crazy Nights. Even though I've already seen it twice, I would watch it a third time before ever watching Surviving Christmas.
That's a technical foul.
I know. But, like, at least with 8 Crazy Nights, like, we get the bum biddy scene. Yeah. We get some nice music occasionally and some nice animation. Like, the only things I would give credit to this movie having is Tony Soprano and Doodah. Like, that's it.
2 whole characters?
2 whole characters. And even then, I only like Tony Soprano in this because it's the same actor. It's not the same character. Like, it's not. But, like, I associate with him because James Gandolfini. I mean, this is the reason I'm only ever gonna watch James Gandolfini movies from now on. Is just if he's in it, I'm gonna watch it because hey, Tony Soprano's in this. I have to see it now.
Yeah. Well, look what that got us.
Hal, could you do me a favor? Can you put the Great Value logo in the thumbnail?
I'll put the Great Value thumbnail.
Yeah, baby.
Value logo in the thumbnail. Sure.
Yeah. This is Great Value Tony Soprano, aka Shitty Value.
This is that Walmart brand incest. It's not even real. How's Brian supposed to get off to this? Yeah, there's no stepsister in this.
Oh, no.
Well, So, yeah, I'm not keeping Surviving Christmas. I imagine you guys are not going to add it to your collections.
No. Well, technically, you're not keeping in the collection. You're putting on your tree.
That's true. So,
a star on top will complete all the scenery.
Oh,
You get like a James Gandolfini angel to put on the top of your tree, and underneath is the disc for Surviving Christmas at the top of the tree.
sure.
Arts
Wait,
and crafts projects.
Do you have an angel at the top of your tree, or are you a star guy?
I have King Kong holding a star in my tree.
That's pretty epic.
I just have a star.
I did have a star before, but now I have a tree topper for my own personal tree, and it's King
Right.
Kong holding a star.
Okay. Nice.
Because
And
what else would it be?
Right, exactly. Knowing you, yeah, no, it has
The
to be
same
King
company
Kong
has a
related.
shark for tree topper too.
Yinsid, are you
Really?
listening?
Yes, he is.
Yinsid.
You know he is.
He's always listening.
Remember, he was also technically there when we watched the movie for like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He walked in, heard me say, "This is some great value incest," and then what the fuck?
Yeah.
We were losing our goddamn minds.
Well, I mean, at least we survived Christmas.
Yeah, baby.
Jim Varney though did not,
Yeah.
or James Gandolfini. They are
Oh.
both dead.
They are both dead. Thanks for reminding me.
Yeah,
Mike Mitchell's not dead though. He's directing
No.
Kung Fu Panda 4.
I
Yeah,
hope
in
it's
theaters
good.
in March.
Yeah.
When are they gonna invent Eight Nation Army?
That's a good question. When are they going to invent Eight Nation Army?
Yeah, play that in your trailer. Oh no, they can only form the Great Value Seven Nation Army, so it's only 6 nations.
Okay.
It's a MIDI.
See, in the Six Nation Army, that includes Antarctica. So which nations do they not include?
That's a
they
question
added
for the
Antarctica-
audience to decide.
So they got rid of 2 other nations and they put Antarctica in.
Oh.
Yeah. Can you guess which 2 they got rid of? The answer may shock you.
I hope they got rid of America. I don't want to be associated with this.
Yeah, me neither. I want to watch 8 Crazy Nights again.
No, you don't.
No, I don't. That's true. Why would I say that?
When are we gonna get the Adam Sandler cover of Seven Nation Army?
Seven Nation Army.
No, he's gonna do 8 Crazy Nations.
Oh no!
Ooh, that's how we'll get our 8 Nation Army sequel.
Well, the 8 Nation Army sequel is 9 Nation Army.
Yeah, okay. White Stripes, are you listening? That is the band that did Seven Nation
Yes.
Army, right? Okay, good.
All right, I think this podcast has gone on long enough. We survived Christmas. We saved Christmas. We talked about great value incest. I think we did all we could.
Yeah, let's Christmas wrap it up.
I couldn't have said it better myself, you two. So, William, shout out your stuff. Where can people find you?
I don't give a shit.
Okay, Buster,
Hey.
shout out your stuff. Where can people find you?
Hey, I run a YouTube channel where I do quick analysis videos on whatever I feel like. Just whatever I feel like. I don't really feel like talking about the topics I actually do cover because I talk about too many things. I talk about video games, talk about tokusatsu, talk about freaking TV, anime, things.
Buster, did you talk about the kitchen sink yet?
Maybe. I might have. At this point, I might have. But yeah, go check out my YouTube. I'm also at Twitter, also at Letterboxd, just talking about things. I'm currently logging a lot of Doctor Who because I'm liking watching that. And just
IDW announced Godzilla vs. Power Rangers 2 yesterday. They're doing the crossover again.
I've not read the
there you
first
go.
one, but I might check out. I didn't like the art of the first one.
You don't like Freddie Williams from Red Letter Media?
Oh, that was him doing the
Yeah,
art.
he did the yeah. Freddie Williams did the artwork for those comics.
Oh, that's how you get me
Okay,
interested.
I guess we gotta cover that eventually.
He also did the artwork for Batman vs. TMT.
Okay, yeah.
So he's
He
the one
also-
who drew "This Is Where My Parents Died," Raphael.
Okay.
Cowabunga.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, that's
that
Freddie
was
Williams.
Freddie? Oh
Yeah, it's-
my god, that's amazing.
Okay, William, you're selling me on this concept more and more, so I'll check it out eventually. Maybe I'll review it on the YouTube. Maybe I'll talk about it on Twitter. Maybe I'll somehow log it on Letterboxd if Letterboxd decides to go crazy. I don't know.
There's a good bit in the first one where I think it's Guy and another one of Rita's monsters are shit talking on Godzilla and Gigan's with them. So you have the Power Rangers monsters shit talking and then Gigan's just silently beating the shit out of them.
That's amazing.
That's funny.
That's good.
And
That's
like-
funny.
Not a lot of words in this guy, huh?
Yeah, okay, now you're selling me slowly and slowly. But yeah, go check out my stuff.
The trade's available if you just want to get the trade.
I'll probably use other methods.
Yar har fiddle-dee-dee. Buster's a fucking pirate.
I do like Gokaiger.
Anyway, yes, your guys' links will be in the description. Well, thank you guys, and Merry Christmas. I'm sorry, even though you don't celebrate it, Buster, but Buster, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
Happy Buster Day. I don't know,
Buster
whatever
Day.
you celebrate.
Happy early Ramadan.
Yeah, happy early Ramadan.
You guys know Easter's going to be in March this year.
I know. Well, what sucks is that Easter's going to be on a Sunday, and then immediately after is April Fool's Day. So I can't have the Easter special on Easter this next year, unfortunately.
Oh.
But we'll figure it out. But yeah, fuck Easter. Merry Christmas, everybody. This is the Too Many Movies Merry Christmas ending stinger. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to support the show, give a like, give a comment, listen to us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or on YouTube too. That's fine too. I don't really care too. But yeah, thanks for listening. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy 2023, everybody. What a wild fucking year this was. And I'll see you guys in 2024. Buster and or William, say something funny to close out the episode.
Something
Incest.
funny.
I wouldn't have expected anything other than what you guys just said. Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Just for you.